Hello folks, this is Dan Gonzalez. It's good to be back online again. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you did, as I did. Of course, the most important part of Thanksgiving was to give thanks to God for what we have and our family members. And I had a great time. It was just a joy to be around my children and my wife and my family. And I would like to bring up something very important today here. I'm talking about the Ammunition Accountability Act that is being pushed all over the United States at this time, at this present time. You can go to ammunitionaccountability.org, and that's ammunitionaccountability.org, and click on the legislation link, and it will bring up a page, and it will show you in red all the states that are trying to introduce this draconian legislation into their laws of their states. Let me read off some of the states to you. Alabama, Arizona, California, Connecticut, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, of course New York, right? Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Washington. I'm quite surprised that Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee, all being southern states, usually they try and fight this type of legislation. But let me go to the South Carolina bill that's being introduced here. And excuse me for putting my glasses on here. It's S 1259, that's the bill, S 1259 in South Carolina. For an example, to amend the Code of Laws of South Carolina, and it goes on to say, to provide that certain handgun and assault weapon ammunition must be coded, to authorize the State Law Enforcement Division, which is SLED for short, to enforce the provisions of this article, to provide that certain ammunition manufacturers and vendors must register with SLED. Wow. To provide that certain information about transfers of ammunition must be maintained and made available for inspection, and to provide penalties for violations of the provisions contained in this article. So here we go again with Big Brother, and they want to now go to the ammunition manufacturing companies and force them to register with in South Carolina with SLED, and give up all the information on who bought their ammunition, where it went, and so on. And from there, they can find out whatever they need to find out on who purchased the ammunition. You will be before you can purchase any ammunition, you're going to be required to show your ID, and of course, the purchaser's driver's license number or another government-issued identification card number will be used. The date of birth of the purchaser, the unique identifier of all ammunition transferred or purchased, and any other information that SLED may require. So now SLED can even go beyond this draconian legislation and actually implement more requirements, and who knows what that might be. But anyway, I'm going to show you here. This is a 308 caliber, which is most commonly known as a 308 7.62 by 5.1 millimeter, and what this is here at the very top, this is the projectile. This is the shell casing, okay? This projectile here, at the base of it, if you can't see it right now, but at the base inside here, it's flat. And what they're going to do is they're going to have a code, microscopic type code inscribed into the base of that projectile. So when that projectile leaves this casing, wherever that projectile goes and wherever it ends up, all they have to do is dig that projectile out. It has the code on it. They go, they put the code in, your name comes up, your picture, your ID, your home, and they go and they speak to you about whatever they would like to speak to you about. If it was used, let's say if you went to the gun range and you had some of this ammunition, and let's say you dropped some of the ammunition on the ground, and somebody came along, picked it up, and used it, or took it home to their place, and then maybe somebody robbed them of their guns and ammunition, and they use that in future crimes, they would link you to those crimes. But there's a couple other scenarios here that many people aren't thinking about. Let's say that you go to the gun range, and the criminals know that everything is encoded. Okay, well, they go to the gun range, and let's say you turn around, you're talking to someone, they grab a couple of your bullets, and they take those bullets and they use those bullets in a crime, knowing that they won't be caught, but you will, because you submitted yourself to as a good little sheep. You submitted yourself to this type of legislation, and now you're the one that is facing criminal charges. There's all types of ways, and not only that, but I was going to say there are all types of ways to get by this. Of course, the only ones that won't get by this are law-abiding citizens like you and me. The criminals always get away with this. They always find a way around everything. Now, let's say that there's a possibility that you may be framed by law enforcement. And some of you are saying, what do you mean framed? Oh, come on, that's a little bit far. But in all actuality, law enforcement is subject to evil just like anyone else or any other organization. And actually, there are quite a few cases to show and prove that law enforcement has committed quite a few crimes themselves. One of those agencies being the FBI, who are manufacturing uh, false results from their lab a few years ago, if some of you may remember that. Now, I would suggest you go and you email everyone you know. You go on this website and you look at all these states. And if you know of anyone that lives in these states or not lives in these states, maybe they can do the same thing you're doing, pass this email out to all their friends and family and associates. We need to get this out there so that people know what they're trying to do here, because we need to stop this dead in its tracks. This is completely unconstitutional. Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights clearly states that that these rights of us to own arms shall not be infringed. This is an infringement on our ability to protect ourselves, and our families, and our homes, and our property, and that's a violation of the Constitution. But of course, from the past, we know that they don't care about violating the Constitution. Basically, everything they do now is in violation of the Constitution. Please, folks, go out, make everyone aware of this. That again, that is ammunitionaccountability.org. Go to that website, bring it up, copy the link, paste it in an email, and send it to everyone you know. We need to fight this and call it. If you live in any of these states, you definitely need to be on the phone. You definitely need to be up there holding your legislators' feet to the fire. Remember, freedom isn't free.